Welcome, everybody, to episode 9 of the Dr. Patrick Flynn Show. I am Ross Gorzhevsky, your host. Super excited for today's episode. Once again, being joined by the handsome... I can't. Well, we are handsome. But anyways, the one and only Dr. Patrick Flynn, the hormone whisperer. We're excited about today's show. We have an emotional plea from one of our viewers. But also, before we even get into that, talk to me. How was your weekend? How was your Monday? And it is Tuesday, and here we are.
It's been a rocking week. Actually, it's been quite amazing things happen. This weekend's pretty exciting. Actually, I shot 1 under par.
1 under par.
On a golf round. My
That's
first ever
awesome.
under par and stuff like that. So
that'll never happen for me.
And it relates to our seminar coming up, so that's going to be pretty exciting.
Speaking of seminar, August 18th and 19th, this is a really big deal. What do we have going on, and why is it a big deal?
Well,
Traverse City.
Traverse City. As you guys know, we have wellness ways all over the country. And the seminar, I even hate to call it a seminar, it's more of a training.
Training, yes.
Because we take all the docs and staff, and the one thing that we do is we teach them to such high level of clinical excellence that way, from biochemistry to our products, everything that way. And then they get to distribute that information to all these patients across the world.
Absolutely.
And so the training to me is very exciting because it brings the docs to the highest level, because the reason why we are so big is because of our clinical results.
Absolutely.
Nobody gets results like we do. That's why, like I said, this whole thing, it's kind of funny, we're in our studio right now, but it's actually in a warehouse.
Yes, it is.
The whole Wellness Way started 18 years ago in an abandoned warehouse.
Absolutely.
With one office. You're saying? So that's
No
what the training-
signage.
No signs, no money, dead broke.
You just getting out there, shaking hands and kissing babies.
That's it. And as my mom said in the show last week, with a diagnosis as a juvenile delinquent child.
Yes.
So
Well,
it's an exciting part. So I said the trains in Traverse City is quite amazing. We love Traverse City because it's close to our favorite golf resort.
Treetops.
Treetops, baby.
Right after that seminar, we're going to be going.
Exactly. So it's a big event for all these doctors and staff to come together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, guys, no matter what you do, look at our website. Every doctor on there on the website is highly trained. They're an amazing professional. They got a heart of gold, and that's why you don't have to come to the Green Bay office. You could, if you're in Missouri, you can go see Dr. Jeremy.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely. He does the same exact work. Like I said, he's a mini hormone whisperer.
Yes, absolutely.
So all these guys are absolutely fantastic. So Traverse City is exciting. So if you're a doc,
you got to come and check us out. There's still time, August 18th and 19th in Traverse City, Michigan. You can go to www.live.com and you can find out more information about our seminar, not just a seminar, training event where we rub shoulders and we get you to a place where it will revolutionize the way you approach your practice. Come and join us, please. Hey, you know what? You just did another talk just the other day that was highly, I would say, to some people controversial. You talked about cannabinoids.
Yes. It's controversial because people are clueless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And ignorance. You know what I'm saying? They just don't know. And because of the stereotype, we came out with our Jamaican wigs on, you
Yes.
know, and all the smoke puffing like
and
crazy.
I was sounding like like
Mexican.
Cheech and Chong. Yeah. Hey man, what you doing, man? Right?
Yeah, well, and so the Wellness Way is taking a stance today.
Right.
So there's no confusion. Because literally, as I'm looking at my Facebook page, I can honestly tell you that half the questions I got over last week was my personal stance on marijuana. So I'm going to look at the camera right now and say, listen, marijuana is one of the best healthy things that need to be done on a regular basis.
Yes.
But on the disclaimer, if you smoke it, you're an idiot. Don't smoke it. It's horrible for you. You'll end up with cancer from it that way. Don't smoke. It's wrong. It's one of the best flowers, herbs on the planet. But what I said, oil form, they can be edibles, things like
Yes.
that. Please don't smoke it.
Vape.
You'll get cancer and stuff like that.
Is that even an option though? Because
Vape's an option. It's a decent option that way. It's just
Okay.
that with oils and edibles that way, there should be no reason for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if we can, like I said, so I'm making a very clear stance right now. Not only the fact that I make a clear stance, I actually put my money where my mouth is. I actually get in a political war over it that way.
Sure.
You know, and as we know, politics has nothing to do with what's right or wrong. If that was the case, the DEA, which actually still classified marijuana as a Schedule 1.
You got it right this time, Dr. Kelly.
Dr. Kelly's in the back right now going, 1. During my seminar, if you guys didn't see it, it'll be up online soon. I kept getting 5 and 1 scheduled back the way.
Yep.
Schedule 1 drug, DEA just came out. It just came out and said, listen, that we are now approving a synthetic marijuana. I'm like, you're an idiot. I'm going to do copy Dr. Kelly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, we got to be careful because they'll probably come do that to us.
Probably.
No,
Synthetic.
So it's
Which
synthetic,
means what?
Which, for example, now here's what's going to happen. Let me say this, okay? Episode 9, what's the date today? August 1st.
August 1st?
What's in 2 weeks?
Traverse City.
No. What's in
2 weeks?
Is there something before that?
I don't know. Your birthday.
Oh, thank you. My best friend doesn't know my birthday like a bag of his hand.
No, I know it is. I mean, come on. You think I'm going to forget that?
I just lost.
Send your gifts here.
Yes. So here, let me. Good point.
26382 Blaine.
So let's do this. So let me give you what's going to happen. What they're going to do, they've approved this. They're going to get it to market as quickly as possible so they can keep the real stuff illegal. Then what they're going to do, they're going to have some deaths, which there has never been a recorded death in history from marijuana. Period. Okay? So then what they're going to do, they're going to get some deaths, some major side effects, some massive hospitalizations, and they're going to generalize like they always do. They're going to look at this. Here comes, for example, marijuana put this person in the hospital. Yeah, but that's an untold story. It's actually more of a lie, but that's what they'll do. That's the whole medical corruption and cover-up, because then they could take such a great natural remedy and bury that frickin' thing. So
you're saying that the wellness way is pro?
We're pro. You know what I'm saying? We're pro. You say not pro-smoking. We hate smoking. Let me say that. Because I know some of you hippie dope freaks that just jumped on, you're going to be like, yeah, Dr. Flynn, it's awesome. Yeah, man, no, don't smoke. Don't smoke. Oil. Eat it.
Oil, edibles.
I don't care what you do. Just don't smoke it that way. So yes, my position is I take it and I put my money where my mouth is. I will do what I have to do to make it. Now, the funny part is this. Even if it's illegal, I can't do anything about it. You can't prescribe it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
I can't.
Right, exactly.
See, so we're fighting. Our doctors fight for your rights. You say I'm right, like I said at the seminar.
It's a song, by the way.
Is it really?
To party.
Oh, that's right.
I'm sorry, my
Beastie
bad.
Boys, right?
Yes. Fight for your right.
Do you know my daughter the other day? I was listening to Journey. Okay, Journey, my favorite band. And she looks at me and she said, Daddy, I love the oldies. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, the oldies? So it was kind of fun. So anyways, what are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about an emotional plea. Well, you were just talking about the cannabinoid talk and how you're pro and that you're going to fight for it.
The cannabinoid talk also to Riley, our wonderful, thing that makes everything look pretty. You know what I'm saying? He's behind the camera right now. Riley's actually going to work and get it all formatted. He's a great video editor, and then we're going to have it available after September. You know what I'm saying? So they said if you haven't been to the talk, we'll have a link. You know, said that you can actually get the talk and the slides and everything there, because once again, it's very research-based talk. It's very emotional talk. Usually I use a lot of humor. Not that talk. That talk is too intense to actually talk about that way. So we actually have a wonderful. You will be able to get a copy of it. You'll watch it online. You'll get the slides because I just want people to have the information in their pockets.
Absolutely. Speaking about intense and emotional, once again, we thank you guys so much for joining us every week to dial into this show. Please continue to like and share and spread the message of the Wellness Way, but also of the Dr. Patrick Flynn Show. And if you do have questions for us, please send us your questions to askdrpatrick at twwclinics.com. And with that, let's go into our question today. And this, once again, as most of them are, they're kind of a story packed full of questions. So there's going to be many, many different approaches to this. So sit back and here we go. All right. So we found out that my uncle had esophagus cancer. And I want to say 2 years or so. He went through chemo, radiation, had surgery, and it all ended up great in the end. No more problems, and was cancer-free, and he was great. But that's going to be kind of where we start off right there, right? So now fast forward to this year, like a few months ago, and the cancer cells are back in a sack of fluid by his lungs. Yet again, they've started up chemo, and he's been on that for a few months now. 2 maybe. But my dad just called me and told me he isn't getting any better, and the situation has grown, and it hasn't lessened either. So now they're going to take more of an aggressive chemo treatment in the hopes that it will do it. However, right, if it doesn't work, they are going to give him meds to keep him comfortable, and that will be all they can do. I've tried talking to my dad about the Wellness Way and the inflammation talk, which we will be talking about here in just a few minutes as well, and that I went to last week, but he doesn't really hear about it, right? So he goes, I want to try and talk to my uncle about this. All right? He's sort of given up and lost hope, and he's more stubborn than my dad. And he goes, I know you, and he considers you to be just a great part of his treatment. But yet at the same time, she goes, are there any suggestions on how I can go about this? The thought of losing him terrifies me. Megan.
Yeah.
Cancer-free.
Yeah, let's start there. It's one of the biggest fallacies, and I got to say this, like Dr. Kelly on Saturday at Traverse City, she'll be actually, and like I said, when I say Dr. Kelly also too, just so you guys know her background, she's also a nurse practitioner. So she lived in that medical world, okay? She'll be teaching on Traverse City, she'll be teaching on cancer and what can be done. And so this concept of cancer-free is kind of ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? Because what they do is you ever look at when people say, Doc, I'm in remission, they think the cancer's gone. Well, actually, it just means it's not growing fast enough to kill you, okay? So whenever a doctor tells you you're cancer-free, be very scared. Because remember, cancer doesn't make you sick. A sick body made you develop cancer to survive. You know, people don't realize, and this is a concept that I spread a long time ago, and that's why actually I can say a little plug to this. Andrea Majors, Chuck Majors' wife, and I are coming out with our cancer book that Chuck and I wrote, you know, about a year and a half ago that way. And you got to remember, if you didn't develop cancer, you would have died already. You don't realize cancer is a defense mechanism for you to survive.
Points. Yep.
And if they don't understand that concept alone, and so it really comes down to is there's certain immune changes and certain biochemical changes that helps develop. So the idea is just going in there and wiping something out. It's like if you go in and you grab a surgery, let's say you had one lump, and that's all they found, and you rip it out, you're still not cancer-free. The causal factors that help to develop that are still there. Okay, so the concept of cancer-free is just ridiculous.
But you're going to mess with a lot of people's mindsets right there because they love hearing that. They love being told that they're in remission and that they are now cancer-free because that's just like, we've made it. We've arrived. It worked.
Well, what they do is now they think survival is imminent that way. And they don't realize that they're going to end up in the same pattern they were. You know, if you just stick in the same medical model that actually, like you talked about, you put out the fire, guess what happens? You survived a little longer. That's what medicine has actually taken from, we've caused you to live longer, to actually, we are healthcare. That's a bunch of bull crap. Do you understand? Because you're just as sick. Like I tell people, if you look at the cancer stats alone, and Kelly talks about this all the time, if you look at the cancer stats alone, they go up every year. The amount of people diagnosed with cancer go up every year. So the same thinking is going to, if we continue this, which we will, like I said, people always say, Doc, I think there's a big shift in healthcare. No, there's not. There never will be. The smallest drug company in the world has more money than all of us put together.
Sure.
And they can advertise the crap out of people, and people are so ignorant, they'll put their head in the sand, and that's what happens to these people. You're saying? The family, what they do is they don't want to hear it because they think their doctors are smart.
Right.
And I'm going to say right now, if you know, I always say this, if you're under care of a doctor for 20 years and you develop cancer, why the hell did you walk up and punch them in the face? Why not?
Right.
You've been under care for what purpose? To be healthy. I got cancer. Now we're going to send you a specialist that's just more of an idiot than I am.
That's right.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's like it's ridiculous. And so what they do is, and it's going to offend a lot of you out there, but come on. Cancer rates every year go up. Every year. And so what happens is, so when you look at the idea of what goes on with these people, and like I said, and they're just looking when they hear they're cancer-free, it gives them a little mental peace that they're going to live longer.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
But this idea that's not coming back and come back for a checkup every year, I always think this way. Think about how they've messed with everybody's thinking, which that's the Wellness Way stands for. The Wellness Way, for example, is just a different way of thinking. That's all it was.
It's a different approach.
When I started 18 years ago, I said, I have an idea which I believe that could permeate everybody. And it does. When an idea is first brought into it, it doesn't always come with great acceptance. But the whole aspect of the idea of cancer and what they're doing and how they get people to say, listen, you're cancer free. Then they go back and say, let's check you in a year.
Sure.
Now, if we go back to this, I love how they've convinced this. Early detection is prevention. Think about that. I'm going to do mammograms because if early detect, that's the idea of prevention. Look at how early detection and prevention, they synergistically put them together, and people go, that's right.
Right.
I'm like, all the sheeple have been just kind of following them, and then when you become the black sheep and go the opposite way, they think you're weird.
Yes.
I'm like going, you guys are crazy. That's actually complete. Guys, let me tell you, when they say something to you, they're actually lying to you. It's a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's an absolute lie. Early detection is not a prevention. That is a lie. It's a blatant lie of what they're doing to you. And they said, you don't have to believe me. You can be offended at everything we just said. How are we doing for cancer?
Right.
How are we doing for cancer?
Yes.
And see, the reason why, and Dr. Kelly, they said the reason why I bring her up a lot, because it is a cancer question. She deals with all the cancer people here. We can go, is there people, Dr. There's people in the IV room right now? Yeah, you can walk through the hallway and go see those people. Trust me, they didn't come here first.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
They didn't come here first. They have actually been so hopeless. Now, this is a tough one. If they don't want to hear it, let them die. I'm sorry.
That's a heartless statement, but at the same time.
No, it's actually a very caring statement.
Sure.
Because you cannot care more than they do. You can't. Because people, do you ever notice as doctors, Dr. Jason and I had this comment the other day, we were having this discussion the other day, is he has a woman coming in that's a little bit obese, and he came to her for help in getting her weight down and getting her back to normal, getting her blood sugar back to normal, and then she comes in and she ate a ton of donuts. Okay? And Dr. Jason's actually right back there. And Dr. Jason, it's kind of funny. He's like, and he gets so emotional about it. And he's frustrated. His heart it breaks for her because he knows the long-term health effects because she's only in her 30s. And all of a sudden he's like, and I'm like, and I saw his frustration. I looked at him. I said, Doc, you can't care more than she does. That's a peaceful mind. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the part. So sometimes when you say you got to let them die, trust me, guys, you think I'm joking? My family, do you really think my family follows everything that I preach?
I can imagine.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know how tough it is when you actually have a family member develop heart disease or cancer, and then here's what they say. Well, my doctor said. I don't give a crap what your doctor said. It's those doctors that led you into what you're doing.
Right.
Do you understand? It's time to go, street A didn't work, we got to go down a whole different street. We don't just actually ask somebody else to drive the car.
Yes.
You got to get a whole other street. It's like, anyways.
I mean, it is a bold statement that you say, but at the same time, it is true because there's so many people out there that do. Like she's pleading with us. What can I say? But yet at the same time, you cannot be emotionally attached to that any more than that individual is themselves.
Right.
If they're willing to change the way that they're thinking and their approach.
Yep.
Because obviously, as she said, cancer-free, and then time has gone by, and it's back. And now they've upped their regiment, chemo, and if that doesn't work, then what are they going to do? They're going to give them drugs.
And if you think about it this way, I coined this a long time ago. I said, it should be called medical practice. It should be called try therapy. Let's try this. And then we try this. And then we try this. And think about this. I love this, guys. Now, you come to a wellness way. Sometimes patients what they'll do is they come in, they're like, Doc, I want this, and I give you one shot. I'm like kind of laughing. I'm like going, didn't you see your doctor for the last 10 years of all the bull crap and use 17 different medications and all stuff like that? I'm like, actually, it's kind of hilarious because it's constant try. And here's what happens. I don't understand this, people. Maybe I just am so far opposite on this. Don't be sick as a dog and tell me you have a smart doctor. My doctor's really smart. You have freaking stage 4 cancer. Your doctor's not that smart. Do you see what I'm saying? Because he wouldn't put you down the same destructive path or even led into that path in the first place.
Over and over.
Just because they have a bunch of letters after you can have a PhD in flat earth. I've said that. There's a lot of doctors out there who have a PhD in flat earth. You know what I'm saying? Just because they studied something wrong doesn't make it right. I love it how medicine has evolved and changed. You know what's changed in the wellness way in 18 years? Nothing. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the biochemistry and physiology of the body has been stable and consistent. And stuff like that. And so therefore, when you actually come from true health principles and not theory and treatments and all stuff like that, guess what happens? You can actually stand on, that's why it's so easy for us to go speak into the medical world. And they go, okay, the one thing I remember speaking at a big medical conference, the biggest question I had, this is why. You want to know why there's corruption out there? The biggest question I had is, does my insurance cover it?
Sure.
See, it wasn't what was right for the patient. It's how do I get paid? Do you understand? And I'm not saying doctors should get paid, but it's how do I get paid? I'm like, really? I just realized I spoke for 2 hours and it was actually a waste of time. Because what they do, the minute you start talking about people's money, they go, well, this is the way it's dominated that way. So instead of actually asking a person, hey, listen, this was going to cost, they go, well, look for a third-party payer. And look at what's our biggest debate in politics right now? Healthcare. Don't worry about it if you're not sick. Okay?
So what do you do? I mean, honestly, here, she's asking for suggestions on how do you approach a family member or someone that you really care about to try to change their way of thinking, to get them to possibly entertain the wellness way?
You don't. There's no way that they have this doctor over here that has a PhD in flat earth and they think they're smart and you're going to come along being a family member and say, listen, I think you should do this. The best thing you can do is why, when I started the Wellness Way, I said, listen, we're going to do an inflammation talk, which encompasses the thinking.
The thinking, yes.
Every couple of weeks for every office across the country. Do you understand?
Yep.
So like tonight, the Green Bay office. Who's doing it tonight? Dr. Jason or Dr. Kelly? Okay, Dr. Jason. So Dr. Jason tonight will be actually in the Green Bay office, okay, so in the Green Bay area. But remember, we have wellness ways all across the country. They have their inflammation talks every couple weeks. Yep. So what she should do is she should grab his butt and say, listen, we're going to go have a nice, healthy dinner.
That we provide for you. Sit down, hear the information, and if you don't like it, run out of there as quickly as possible. At least you got fed.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. At least go have a nice dinner. So at least got fed. I fed a healthy meal. You know what I'm saying? But that's the point. So because think of it this way, we've done this for so long. It's very easy for us if they have a question to language the question back to them that way.
Sure.
You have the young lady has a heart of gold, but she's not going to be able to explain it the way we do. Right. And if you can come and sit down with us for an hour and understand what Wellness Way does, there's no way you're walking out the door. There's no way. You're saying, and what I mean by that is there's no way that you can walk out the door and turn around and think the same when you did. Because that's all we do. All we do is to get you to think a little differently. And if you want to take the action steps, it's up to you. If you don't, it's up to you.
So really, I mean, for those of you that are possibly thinking, how do I get to an inflammation talk? Well, first of all, go to twwclinics.com and you'll be able to see the map. You'll be able to see the locations where we have offices. And you can also find them on Facebook. There's a lot of ads that are constantly running all the time in regards to these offices and their inflammation talks. And it'll change the way you think. And really, that's what the Wellness Way really is. Step number one. To hear the message and think differently, to challenge the paradigm that you've been kept in for how many years? 15, 20, if not more. Because all this is a repeat issue.
Well,
had cancer, treated.
Yep.
Cancer-free, came back,
treated. Have again.
It's just it's a repetitious cycle.
It's repetitious. It's crazy. And so that's the big thing in here. And the cool thing is this: how did Dr. Kelly go from being a nurse practitioner in a hospital to the Wellness Way? Because her thinking changed.
Yes.
Her education never changed.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, Duran, she got taught what we do. Correct. You know what I'm saying? But how is it that we have medical doctors, nurse practitioners, nurses, we're interviewing another nurse today? You know what I'm saying? How do they do this? Because we get their thinking to change. And now, when they think differently, Nicole, we've had, 2 shows ago?
Yep.
She actually came as a labor and delivery nurse, and she loved fertility and realized, man, I got to give a perfect example. Traverse City. Squirrel. Okay.
Squirrel.
Traverse City, we have an OB that called me from Louisiana. And she said, Doc, she goes, I've been following you. She goes, and she goes, fertility problems, I've been in practice for 12 years, have doubled and tripled. I said, really? I said, do we have more doctors, more hospitals, more money spent on research, more therapies? She goes, yes. I said, then what's the problem?
Right.
And I told her a couple things of physiology and how the body works, and she goes, I never thought of it that way. And she's coming to Traverse City because she said, I don't know what to do with my patients. You know what I'm saying? Because the standard, get some Clomid, doesn't work, do it a bunch of times, have a bunch of miscarriages, then do a bunch of $20,000, $30,000 therapies, which, guys, please don't ever Facebook me, which hasn't happened a long time, and going, Doc, why don't you do insurance stuff that way? Yeah, ask a fertility woman that spent $100,000.
Right.
We've had women spend $100,000 on fertility that way. So it said, insurance is meant for medical services for what they do that way. I'm sorry, if you depend on your insurance to be healthy, you'll be one of the stats. You're going to die from cancer, heart disease, you choose. Okay?
So if I can real quick here,
yes.
This inflammation talk that you brought up and that we're telling everybody that our offices are doing twice a month, why is inflammation the topic?
Well, because any time that your body is challenged from a stressor, there's an inflammatory reaction. Remember, your body doesn't make mistakes, you do. Remember that. Your body doesn't make mistakes. Key. See, the idea, the concept here, let me give you a concept what doctors are totally clueless on. Now, I'm going to even bust the A4M and IFM and all these things that they get this wrong.
Are those FM dials or is that on my radio? What was that again? AM, FM, what?
Well, they're all medical things that try to become natural things. They are. And what happens is, and then it's really funny because, I will keep this quiet because I just kind of laugh about this because he showed up at one of my hormone connection seminars because his wife has hormonal problems. And he wrote a book on how wheat is bad, and he sells $2 million of books a year. I'm like, because he's in the medical field. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, we've been preaching it for 20 years. Give us the $2 million. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, oh wait, did I say hell?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes. No, that's okay. But anyways, but that's the point. It's like if a medical doctor, it's like this. I always tell people, if a medical doctor says something natural, the chiropractors will share it like crazy. I'm like, be secure about what you do. Chiropractors, your thinking is much better than any medical professional. That's what makes you separate. Stop running to these medical doctors that talk a natural thing, because I've sat down with all of them. Think I'm joking? I sat with the top quote natural doctors when they're trying to produce a Pennsylvania hospital, and guess what happened? And they developed a different program, but the idea is this, it's like they don't understand it totally. Their thinking is, okay, what's this herb? Let's stick it up your rectum, and it's going to be better for you that way. You're saying what disease it treats that way. See, it's just their thinking is totally wrong. It's totally wrong. And so here's the concept. If you think the body makes mistakes, you've already lost.
That's good.
You've already lost.
Yep.
If you believe in mitochondrial dysfunction, you've already lost. Your body doesn't dysfunction. It adapts to everything. You saying? See, but we recognize that there's a normal pattern to mitochondrial function, and if it gets thrown off, they look at like something broke down. Your body doesn't break down. Your body does everything to survive. If I throw your butt naked out in January outside, your body will break everything in its core. You'll even lose your fingers and toes.
To survive.
That was a smart reaction. Your body knows exactly what it's doing. It's just that you don't know how to take care of it, and guess what you do? Remember, your body doesn't make mistakes. You do, and your body has to do everything it can to compensate for your stupidity.
It's what we talked about a couple episodes ago with being, when we started talking about genetics, that your body is genetically predispositioned to what?
Normal.
To survive.
So survive.
Yes.
Remember, your body is genetically programmed for normal function. People say, Doc, it's my grandpa's fault. Really? Okay. Grandpa taught you bad habits. You're saying? Grandpa didn't teach you bad genes and stuff like that. Your genes are genetic. Even when your gene, for example, has to respond in a way for you to survive, guess what happens? Doesn't mean there's a great symptom. You know what I'm saying? It's going to do everything it can to survive. That's actually the nature of every mammal on the planet that way.
Yes.
Every ecosystem is survival. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just, but once again, the thinking is wrong. So now the thinking goes wrong, so everything you postulate after that is going to be wrong. And just because you studied it and researched it and throw a PhD at your end doesn't make it right.
Right. So everything here, cancer was gone. There was remission. But probably lifestyle didn't change.
No, their habits. And I love this. You can go over to Green Bay Oncology over here, and they actually have a soda machine, and they have donuts, they have all this junk there, and stuff of that. And guess what happens? It's like, and then we're going to treat you for cancer, even though we know sugar feeds it like crazy. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, you gotta. I sometimes I just want to beat myself in the head and just go, it's just ridiculous, though. I mean, honestly. But here's what happens: is if people don't finally stand up and say this is wrong. Guess what? Who's going to do it? The Wellness Way at least has the guts. At least we have the guts, and Dr. Jason, all our docs, and we have the guts to say, no, enough.
Enough's enough.
Enough. Because why? Somebody show me that any stat has gone down with heart disease, cancer, diabetes, weight, everything. Please.
Yes.
If you can show that, I will shut up. You cannot. And so don't show me the trend of disease and illness and suffering and psychiatric drugs and medications have gone up and then tell me, doc, you're a little bit extreme.
Absolutely.
Really? You ever see a suffering cancer person? You ever see that family suffer?
Yes.
That's extreme.
It is extreme.
And it's suffering that's needless.
Indeed.
Okay?
So really, all she needs to do is start by not trying to persuade her family member, herself. Go to the inflammation talk.
Yes.
Please. For the love of yourself and your family member, get them to an inflammation talk, twwclinics.com, and you can find
all of them across the country.
All of them across the country. And if you are in the Green Bay area, there is one tonight.
Hey, that means there's one on my birthday, on August 15th.
Where's it at again? Brett Favre Steakhouse?
Yes.
What time?
6 p.m., Dr. J. Sam.
Show up. Go to our website, check it out, and sign up. Get
Yes.
there, please.
Please do.
And also, hey, guess what else is coming up here? I know
What's
we
that?
just got a couple minutes coming back, but this coming fall, the Hormone Connection Seminar is starting back up again. So,
The Hormone Connection Seminar.
Yes.
Guys, what happens is this. If there's one thing that got me to be known as the Hormone Whisperer, is that seminar. I kid you not, I was talking to a woman from Montana that's about 3 hours away from our Montana office, and we're having one out there October 12th. And I said, and it was kind of funny because her husband and her are going to come out there. And I won't say the name, but she's probably listening right now. But here's what happened. I had a consult with her yesterday, and it's really funny. She goes, Doc, my sex drive is going up. And she goes, and my husband's happy about it.
I bet he is.
And I said, absolutely is. But here's the funny part is this. I said, but even though your sex drive is coming up, he doesn't know how it works and how to make it go higher. And so get his butt to the Hormone Connection Seminar because, guys, if you understand this, the hormones, for example, dictate. If you take your beautiful wife, okay, and if you look at her transition from being a young child to a young woman, the only thing that changed was what?
Hormones?
Hormones.
That's right.
Their DNA didn't change, their genetics didn't change, nothing changed. Their hormone levels did, and affect them both physically and psychologically. So when I started teaching hormones 18 years ago, I started recognizing the changes, and I went, whoa, there's a psychiatric aspect about it. And men and women are so different hormonally that guess what? They're affected by different things. And once you understand how hormones work, you can understand a woman. Once you understand how hormones work, you understand a man. And you understand they're so freaking different. So my Hormone Connection Seminar, it's actually been picked up some of the largest churches in the world.
Yep. It's a beautiful thing. So you really need to go there because I've seen him do this. And boy, when you see all the people that are saying they have these light bulb experiences because they're getting information that they've never heard before. And it is amazing. I promise you this. So the Hormone Connection, the Hormone Whisper
starts in the fall.
Full effect
We'll
in
have
the
to
fall.
go to my website. You
Yes.
can see the what is my website?
I don't know.
www.drpatrickflynn.com. There you go. And
Raw and
actually,
unscripted,
yes.
right?
And so we're going to have them listed up there. You can actually get your tickets on there. It's one of the reasons why actually I had to stop taking new patients.
Yes.
Because my practice, obviously, our practices are swamp busy, but the Hormone Connection Seminar is being such a demand. So
I love it.
Yeah. So fall schedule.
Fall
coming up.
schedule. And guess what? Next week, Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have a special guest, one of our very own
Yes.
doctors from the Green Bay corporate office, Dr. Jason Nobles, also known as the Sugar Daddy. He doesn't want to be your sugar daddy. We've already had someone write in and say, "Hey, you're kind of cute. Will
Looking
you
for
be
a
my sugar daddy?"
He's like, unless your blood sugar's at 120, I'm not taking care of you.
So that's going to be an exciting episode. So make sure that you continue to like and share this crazy episode that we had today and all the ones before. But it's wonderful information. It's meant to be put out there for you to challenge the way that you think. So that you can take control of your own health care. We look forward to seeing you next week.